Hello everyone, this is Pratik from TechStop, and today in this video we'll be discussing about Terraform initialization. So in the last video we talked about Terraform introduction, like what Terraform is and why do we use it and what is the workflow of the Terraform. And in this video we'll be discussing one of the main command which is being used for Terraform, used for initializing and then applying the Terraform infrastructure. So that would be Terraform init command. So this would be the agenda. That would be how does Terraform initialization works, and what would be the Terraform init command syntax, and what all options which are available for this command, and one small demo like how this command works. So let's get started. I'll switch to the Visual Studio Code, and so we have this example wherein we have a Terraform block which defines the required providers, which is a random provider which is used to create random strings, and we have a source defined as HashiCorp/random, and then we have the version, so which is 3.4.2. Then we define one of the resource, which is random password. So it generates the random password, and we define of what length we need that password to be, and then we output that value as a sensitive value. So this flag basically depicts that the value is sensitive and it will not display on the output screen. It basically saves it in the state file. So first, the definition. The Terraform initialization, basically what it does is it configures the provider plugins, it configures the state backend. So backend can be local as well as remote, so it depends on where you manage your state, Terraform state, whether it is on the local system or it is remotely on the Terraform cloud, and then downloading the required modules in the current working directory. So we'll see how it downloads and configures all the required providers or the modules in the current directory. So it results in the creation of .terraform folder in current directory, which contains the provider plugins and the Terraform. This is the syntax. So Terraform init, and then we provide all the options. Some of the options which includes input equal to true, lock equal to false, like it can be true or false. These are the boolean flags. Then lock timeout, and then we have no color or the upgrade option. Okay, so let's switch to the Visual Studio Code and see how it works. So we have gone through this .tf file. So this is the terminal. So I'll just write Terraform init. So it basically initializes the backend. It downloads all the provider plugins, which in this case is HashiCorp/random, and version is 3.4.2, and it basically also creates a log file, basically that is .terraform.log.html. So if you see here, this is the log file. It basically defines what version of provider you have downloaded, and these are the hashes. So basically it's like a package which you have downloaded, and that package corresponds to a hash. So basically it defines the integrity of the zip file, the provider's plugin zip file which you have downloaded, and there is a .terraform directory as well which gets created, and we have this provider being installed here. Okay, so the Terraform has successfully initialized it. Okay, so let's move forward and just plan it and apply it. So we'll be discussing these commands in the later videos, but for the sake of completing this demo, I'll just write Terraform plan first. So it basically creates the plan like what it will be doing with this current configuration file, and it will output this random password value. So if I apply it, so I'll say yes, I'll have to apply this plan, and it simply outputs the random password value, though it is sensitive, so it will not show in this output. So if you see here, a tf state file gets created. It's a state file which Terraform maintains, basically correlates with your actual infrastructure and the current configuration. So basically what state basically signifies what is your current infrastructure is. So this is the, if you see, this is the random value which it has generated. Okay, that is the password value which it has generated. Okay, so if I have to upgrade it or downgrade it, so let me show you where I can see all the versions available. So this is Terraform registry URL, where you can see all the providers which are available through Terraform. And if I search for random, so this is the official documentation of random provider, and so it supports the use of randomness within the Terraform configuration. So if you see here, there are multiple versions available. So this is the latest version, which, so I think we are using 3.4.2, and if I have to use 3.4.3, so I'll just change it to 3 and save it. And if I try to initialize it again, it will not allow me to do so because there's a lock file. So lock file basically helps us restrict the change of the provider plugin version. So if say you are collaborating within your team and every team member is doing some changes to the Terraform, you don't want the provider version to be changed by any other person, so you have to include this lock file within your source repository. You have to check in it along with the other configuration, so that someone else, if they try to initialize it, they will not be able to change the provider version. But if you have to deliberately do the upgrade, so then there is a command called init upgrade. So it will downgrade, it will update the version to 3.4.3. so now if you see, the log file has also been updated with the latest version which we have installed. So if I try to initialize it again, it will just reuse the previous version which is mentioned in the dependency log file. It's called dependency log file. Okay, so this is the one way you can, so one flag which is available, and there are other options. There are options available like which you might not so lock equal to false. So it's like so there is a state file, right? So state file basically, so whenever Terraform does any operation, it basically puts a lock on this tf state file so that no one else can update it. So if you don't want the init operation to put a lock on it, then you can mention this lock equal to false, but this is not what is recommended because there might be an ambiguity if someone else tries to change the state file or the infrastructure at the same time. So this is not recommended, but it's an added option which is given. And the other one is init lock timeout. So it is about like so every init operation would lock the file, and this basically defines how much time Terraform will wait to acquire the lock. So if Terraform is not able to acquire the lock within this much time, the operation will fail. Okay, and there is no color. Okay, I think I can mention it with the incorrect name. It is no hyphen color, so it is, yeah. So earlier it was showing it in green, then if you mentioned it with no color, it showed it as black and white. So this is just a simple option which we have. So basically these are the options. So there are other options as well, if you see here, which are mentioned, and which you can use, but I think ideally there are very few, like mainly the upgrade one, which you would be using, like mainly using it. The others ones are there, but you might not use it that frequently. Okay, so this was it from this video. So I've completed, so I've shown you how init command works and some of the options available. So this is it from this video. Thanks for watching this video.